don't know if you guys have noticed or not, but over the last several days, there has been a whole bunch of news about the Galaxy S25 series of devices leaking. And today, we finally get some of the information I have been waiting for. We've already kind of learned the specifications. We know what the cameras are going to be, the battery, the screen sizes. Like, we know all of the hardware stuff for the most part, I think, that there is to know. But what we didn't know, how is the software going to make use of that hardware? What are the new features going to be? And today, via a website called Technoblog, this is in Brazil, if I'm not mistaken, we have a little bit to talk about. I've gone ahead and translated these with handy dandy Google Translate. So we're going to run through these, and there's actually quite a bit to cover here. So the first image, this appears to be marketing material, shows this: press, do it, ready. Portuguese to English, probably not exactly what that's going to say. Basically, they're talking about Google Gemini. Now, this is not explicitly a new feature. You're going to look at this, you're going to think, okay, so they're asking Gemini to list places mentioned in a YouTube video and save it to a note. It's not necessarily something that's like revolutionary or brand new, but there are some hints of things to come. Notice the mention of Samsung Notes down here. There are more things to talk about with this. We're going to talk about them here in just a minute. In the second image, we get something called the Now Brief. So this appears to be something that is going to periodically sort of pop up and give you what it thinks is relevant information. That can be the weather. It can be how well you slept for the morning. It can be stuff about, hey, you're driving, and typically when you drive, you open up maps and your music. So do you want to do that? Cool, there that is. It's showing a coupon. Excuse me, still recovering from some sort of cold. It's showing a coupon there as well, an evening summary. So trying to use this sort of AI stuff to figure out what information do you need, when do you need it, and here it is to be useful. Now, they also did have some material showing specifications. We've gone over this. This is exactly what we thought it was going to be, so I won't spend any more time there. We're going to move on to a tweet from ChunVN8888, where they posted this, a series of screenshots, presumably from the Gemini app on the S25 series of devices, and they reveal something quite interesting. To keep things short and sweet, it appears that Samsung is going to have an extension for each of these three applications, which will allow Google Gemini to get in there and do what it needs to do. So asking Gemini to add something to your calendar, it can add it to your Samsung calendar. Take a note. It can work with Samsung Notes, not just Google Keep and Google Calendar. So that is very, very cool, but it doesn't actually stop there, because we also have this tweet from Ice Universe where they are speaking very highly of Samsung's Galaxy AI integration. Of course, this is powered by Gemini. They say that these functions will become the unique and strongest king in this field, and the iPhone is still a long way off in this regard. Now, we don't know exactly what they are referring to. They talk about cross-application and personal customization functions. So you can kind of let your mind begin racing as to what that means. I think that we have some hints, right? Cross-application stuff. Maybe, though, cross-application can mean going from one app to a different app. It kind of reminds me of this video that I've talked about several times, wondering when this will be integrated. Google showed it on stage. They had this scenario where somebody wanted to return a pair of shoes. So they asked Gemini, I want to return these shoes. It found the order email in their Gmail inbox. It actually went through that and then started the return process, filled out the return form for them, and then actually scheduled a UPS pickup, or maybe told them where to go to drop it off. It basically did everything that they needed it to do. Are we talking about that kind of thing when we mention cross-application type things? I think probably not to that extreme of a degree, but I think that we are slowly heading in that direction. We also have news straight from Samsung's own blog where they talk about the pretty cool sketch-to-image feature getting some new features. As they describe it, going multimodal. The description that they sort of give you is now you're going to be able to not just sketch the thing that you want the AI to generate in terms of images. You can sketch and then you can type, or you can talk to it. So they said they wanted a cat in a spacesuit, so they drew a cat and then they typed in spacesuit, and that's what they got as their output. I've said for a long time that sketch to image is very cool, but Google with Magic Editor's Reimagine, I thought just worked better. You could circle an area and then just tell it what you wanted to be there. I have an easier time telling something, describing it, than drawing it and that being recognized. And then I'm not a very good artist. So what they're doing here is you can draw it, you can write it, you can say it, whatever you want to do, and it's going to be able to try to generate it. So they're continuing to sort of push the envelope with a lot of this stuff. I think we have this intuition that I think failed us last time with these devices. I think everybody thought that the S24 line didn't look different enough. It didn't seem like a big enough upgrade to warrant many people buying it. And yet, maybe because of the AI features that looked pretty cool, it outsold the S23. And here we are once again wondering if there's enough here to warrant buying the S25 line of devices. And it may be the case that Samsung comes out there and shows off a plethora of new AI things that look really, really cool. And it ends up selling well on the back of that. It would not surprise me in the least if that happened. I think that we are well into a new and fantastic world where simple hardware improvements just don't matter that much anymore. These phones are so insanely fast that leaks of hardware specifications just aren't going to tell you much. It's going to matter much, much, much more what the software is. How do the phones actually work? What can they do? Because they are all so insanely fast. And guys, I think that we're finally beginning to see the picture filling in as to what these devices are going to be like. I keep saying it, and I will say it one more time. You can click the link in the description down below to reserve your very own Samsung Galaxy S25 device. You have around about 6 days left to do that at time of recording. Keep in mind, there is no obligation to buy. All you're doing is giving them your name and your email, and then when the phone comes out, they're going to send you an email that says, the phone's out, and if you click that link in the email and you go to buy it that way, they're going to give you $50 of Samsung credit at your checkout. You can use that on accessories, and it also is going to help support me, help support the channel, and it costs you nothing. So again, if you think you might buy one, go ahead and reserve it because it doesn't cost you anything. And if you don't buy it at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It didn't cost you a thing. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. What are you anticipating in terms of AI features, new features in general with these devices? Subscribe for more content just like this. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.